To change the cup. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, Lance.
Listen, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this and for providing this beautiful place, because the place we were supposed to do it in, they told us we couldn't do it. Oh, that made me feel really, I was a little upset about that because it was poor planning on my part.
Oh, not at all.
But
I'm so happy to be able to share this space.
Yeah, and to do this podcast, it's been a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Actually, we were supposed to do it together at first. And I said, look, no, I said, it's better if I just do it and get it done on my own. Then it's one way. And there's another guy I thought about doing it with as well. And I said, let's do it. But thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. I'm so humbled and honored to be here.
Thank you.
It's part of anything you do.
Yeah. Well, listen, you came to me first of all to ask me how to teach you to do a back handspring and some backflip, front handspring, and I discouraged you from doing that because not having the proper facility and the places and everything. So I said, all you have to do is make sure that you tell me.
Yeah, so it was this summer during the COVID. Right? Yeah, and our gyms were closed. So I got bored of doing yoga in the park with my girlfriend, and I wanted to relearn my front handsprings and cartwheels and things I used to do as a cheerleader 35 years ago. But I thought it would be stupid of me to just do it since it's been 35 years. So I rang you up to see if there's
you said we've met somewhere before, but I don't remember where.
I can't remember where either, honestly. But we're connected on Facebook friends with mutual friends and your ophthalmologist girlfriend.
No, we found out we know a lot of people.
So many
lots of people that we know that we have in common, because you went to school here in Japan.
Yeah, I went to CAJ and Sophia, and my grad school was Temple.
Right. And I told you, you're my son's senpai. Because Temple. No, you went to Temple. I'm sorry, they went to Jochi.
Sophia. No, I went to my undergrad is Sophia. I have a master's.
Okay.
I know I'm not just a X model.
Okay, all right. So you have a master's, but so many things you've done. I know you have a modeling agency. You taught girls how to. You're the styling coach.
Right now,
in
I'm
Japan.
a style coach. Yeah.
And that's what you do the most of.
So I was born to a supermodel when she was 20. So I was born a model, and I thought, because if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I just was modeling, and it helped to pay my school. Sophia wasn't cheap, and I was happy to alleviate my parents, from the financial burden, because there's 4 of us.
4 of you? Where are you in the 4?
I'm the oldest.
And you have 2 or 3?
2 younger sisters and a younger brother.
Right. Are they still here in Japan?
Yeah. My brother is a trader. My sister is a yoga studio. She's an entrepreneur. She's an Adidas global model / yoga instructor. Meditation. She's the most famous yoga instructor. She's the only female Ashtanga yoga license holder to this day.
Is that
in
right?
Japan. Yeah.
Wow.
My middle sister's, I think, now back at Reuters. She became like a sports writer. During the time that I was running the agency. I bought the agency I belonged to as a model at 27 because I wanted to quit modeling.
So you bought the agency?
I bought the agency.
That you were actually modeling at?
Yes. And my 2 sisters and 1 other model who was a contract model for 17 magazine. So there's just 4 of us. So if I had confidence and if I knew any better, I would have founded my own company. But I was 27 and the only job I've had was a model. Working as a model, so I was afraid. I didn't have the confidence to start my own company because that was 23 years ago. Back then, we only had a choice to start a kabushiki gaisha for 10 million yen.
Right, of course. Yugen Gaisha.
3 million yen.
That's right.
And my background is an international school all my life, so I was afraid to deal with docs in Japanese and get ripped off or whatever. So I bought the company that consisted of us for 10 million yen, too much, the asking price from my ex-boss, ex-manager. And how I bought it was I paid her 4 million yen cash and 6 million yen debt. I took over her debt, So for better or for worse.
And this is right after the bubble, or just as the bubble?
Well, it's right after the bubble burst.
This was 1990.
When I was in my 20s at some point. So I bought the company in 1995, 6?
Yeah, that's right after the bubble burst.
Yes, it was 1997. I was 27.
Sheesh.
But 2 years before I bought the company, from when I was 25, I was working for my agency part-time for 800 yen an hour. to see if I can buy the company, because my boss had kind of lost motivation. I mean, back when she started the company.
Japanese? Is she Japanese? Was she Japanese?
She's Japanese.
Okay.
Back when she started the company, the model agency, she took me and a couple other models that were making so much money for
That was her beginning.
Yeah, so she took some of us. This is a typical story. You know, a manager takes the models or talents and finds their own, because we attach to the managers.
Of
right?
course,
not
but not the boss, because he's not with you. Yes.
So she took some of us, were making a lot of money, and started her model agency. Only a few years later, after the bubble burst, it wasn't like, you know, nothing was lucrative. So I think she started to become demotivated. She was also a single mom, and I wanted to get out of modeling. So I put myself in school to hopefully find something I wanted to do, but I didn't. And during this whole career of mine, I was, you know, doing singing lessons, acting lessons, all these things in the industry my manager sent me to, but I wasn't interested in any of those things, nor was I talented. So I just wanted to quit modeling. And it was really unnerving after graduating from school when people asked me what I do. All I had was, you know, to say I'm a model, and that was so embarrassing for me, because I didn't feel adequate. I didn't feel, you know, it was just not me. Right. So I didn't like being judged as a model.
But to decide to buy the company, did she encourage you to do so? Did she kind of pitch it to you or something?
No, I wanted to initially start a foreign model agency and teach my models some manners.
Oh, so her agency wasn't a foreign one?
No, it's just Japanese girls.
Oh, just Japanese girls.
Well, I'm quarter.
But you're quarter, right?
And I are quarters.
But everyone else were Japanese.
Yeah, everyone else were Japanese. But it was just a small agency with 4 or 5 girls.
Right. And how many years did she run it before you bought it?
6 years.
6 years, then you took it.
Out of the 6 years, you know, I started working arubaito, doing part-time work in her agency 2 years prior to that. So
Gotcha.
from 25
so you learned it, so you actually got to learn it.
I learned how to run the business,
Gotcha, right.
but still didn't have the balls to buy it or to start my own, because any smart person would have just started their own if you have the assets, which are the models, because they're my sisters.
Right,
so
I
obviously I could have just started my own company, but I just bought it for 10 million too much. My math was never my strong suit. So then I ended up going back to modeling because I couldn't pay I couldn't pay
the salaries,
right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
So at least I wasn't burdening anyone else with my, with my choices.
Right.
So I was lucky enough, but I mean, that's when I discovered there are bad people out there. Because I went to a Christian school in my life.
And
so
you were trusting everyone that came along,
everyone,
right?
including my boss, of
understand.
course. I mean, it was a series of eye-opening
experiences. I got you.
experiences.
So how long did you keep the company?
I still have the company.
Oh, you still have the company?
31st year.
31st year.
So I've reinvented my company. I have added a bunch of different things, and currently I'm a style coach.
I know that's what we're going to really talk about, because that's what you're doing. But when a little bit more about your modeling agency. Yeah. So you did this from the beginning. Did you bring in foreigners? Did you start to bring in foreign clients?
I did
models?
when I was running my model agency. So I'll explain from the beginning. My boss. We hardly had a computer back then. So my boss days, she had like 50 people on her client list, handwritten client list. So during the 2 years I was part-time working, I increased that to 5,000. I also just, put in a lot of different ideas, brought in more models, made the agency bigger. And because it was my choice, I had to pay for it. I asked her if I could pay for it. It was really stupid because my intention was to buy it, and she wanted to let go. But I realized later that she wanted me to buy it for as much as possible, when the company itself was worth nothing without us.
I got you.
Right.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's my tuition. I like paying
tuition. You're going to one way or the other.
Yeah. So
that's
then then I bought the agency. Then things started to go downhill economically. But I was very lucky that I had modeling to fall back to,
and that's why you started modeling, so you could start to pay off the debt you were
right.
Of course, right.
But that went well for a while. Then the next year I had a baby. Next year I got married. Then I bought the company. The next year, the year after, I had a baby. Then my husband.
Wait. Were you married? How long were you married when you had the agency?
No, so 25 to 25, I started working at my agency.
Right. 27, you bought it. Right.
26, I got married.
So you got married at 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 27, I bought my company.
Okay.
Then 28, my husband wanted to start his company with
Okay.
a Latvian guy, and he didn't graduate high school.
Mm-hmm.
He's British, you know.
Who didn't? Your husband or the
My
Latvian guy?
husband, and
Okay.
his Latvian friend
Wait,
wanted to
wait,
start
is this
a
my
company.
student you're talking about?
No, this is the second
Okay.
husband.
All right. Okay.
We have to wait. Calm down.
All right. All right.
We
I know.
have the-
I
all
don't know
the
anyway.
time in the world.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
found out that one of your
that's a
husbands was
funny
my student,
story.
right?
Exactly. I only have two.
When I was a teacher. Well,
Just to be clear.
okay.
Anyway, so then he wanted to start a company, but at this point, my mother got sick. It turned out she has atypical Alzheimer's. We switched doctors 9 times to find out that she has atypical Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
She was 8 at the time, so younger than me. And so, I mean, at some point, we tried living with her too. So I'm like changing my son's diapers and my mom's diapers, running my agency. You know,
Who was
modeling.
your father?
It was crazy. My father had like his business went badly, and my parents had split. a
Okay, so
while
he wasn't
back.
around. Okay,
He wasn't around, but he
okay.
was working for me. Because initially, the reason I bought my agency is to make sure my sisters aren't having to do jobs that were kind of
I understand.
dodgy.
Sketchy, right?
Yeah, and I also wanted to pay my parents as board
Understand.
members, so I could show my gratitude for the
For all the things
international
that- right.
school they've
But your
provided
sisters
for
went through
us.
international schools too,
Yes,
right?
all
Okay,
of
all of you
us,
did.
yeah.
Yes. That's
But
quite a
then
bit of
my
money
mom
too.
got sick, and
Right.
then my dad was working for me for over 10 years. But yeah, so he's Japanese,
Mhm.
and he went to KO, and he was So anyway, and then 28, then my husband wanted to start a company, but long story short, he's a foreigner with no background in finance, but he wanted to be a financial advisor, and he was. And so I ended up getting a loan for my company, which I could, right, because I had a 6-year-old company with good credits, and I'm Japanese, whereas he and his partner can't, and they have no credibility. So I ended up getting a loan for him, and fast forward a couple 5 years, or I was with him for 8.5 years, but by the end he had not only lost everything and every penny of my savings, because I gave everything to him, because whoever has it should help, right? But by the end he not only lost everything, he told me that don't bother asking your friends for help, because I already did. So he asked 5 of my guy friends, including like an ex-boyfriend. I had some, wealthy friends. As you know, I have wealthy friends and, homeless friends. I have lots of friends. But in my lifetime, I never imagined asking people to give me a loan.
Well, did they give him loans?
Yes, because of me and Jesse, right? And I was so ashamed.
I can imagine,
I
okay.
wouldn't, believe. I couldn't
Right, I
believe
understand,
it.
I understand.
And all 5 of them never told me that they
So
had
you
loaned
found this
money
out
to
after
my
he spoke to
husband.
you, after he spoke to you.
Oh, so ashamed.
Okay,
it was
so
just
fast
like,
forward.
Divorce was bad enough. Then I went back with him 5 times. It's not like I was in love with another person. And I really wanted to, for things to work, because he's a loving father to my son. So we did kind of the Bruce Willis, Demi Moore style co-parenting.
Okay.
Yeah. And
How many years did you do that?
we went back together 5 times, but we never.
But had you actually legally divorced?
Yes, we did.
But you still kept on coming back together
We-
because of your son.
Because of my son, but
That's it.
I was only in love with him.
Okay.
But
Okay,
anyway,
that's the
it's
reason.
kind of a long story, but I think he was insecure and always worried that I would go off with someone else, because one, I had people around me and I was still modeling, and there were people who, I think were interested in me. But I started to become insecure because I loved him, and I married him, and I love my son, and I love him as my son's father, but nothing I did seemed to be enough for him to feel, safe with me. So I'm like, what am I doing wrongly? How much more can I do to show my love? So it wasn't a very, like going back on confidence and whatnot.
It wasn't
It's
good.
kind of interesting.
So that brings me to the other area of you being a style coach,
yeah.
because you employ all of that you've learned
Yes.
in actually teaching people how to dress, how to
Yeah.
pose themselves when they're taking pictures. So how do you, what made you decide to become a style coach?
Oh, because I was broke and broken again. So after my second divorce to my husband,
That I
the
taught.
second
It was
husband
one of my
that you
students.
taught,
He was one of my students. He was
me
when I was
too.
PE teacher,
Yeah,
at
it's
the
so
American
funny,
school,
you're so
right?
famous. It's
No,
like so
no.
many of my friends, teachers, or their kids, teachers. So I've known of you. You taught my nephew, and even my youngest sister.
I think you told me that.
Yeah,
right.
So we're all like really connected. Only you didn't teach CAJ kids because
I went to
Craig.
CAJ. No, it's because it's so far out there. That's one thing.
I know. We're such a
Missionary, yeah.
school.
But I went out there and it wasn't built up at all when I
No.
went out there. But now they've done quite a good job.
So
It's
for
really
some reason, I don't know if it was during the American Club days or what, because I was involved with Room to Read. I mean, we've just
I'm familiar
done
with
so
Room to
many,
Read, right?
yeah,
Yes.
so many
things
so
that have crossed paths, but we just never
like
met each
John
other.
Wood is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
I don't know, he didn't come to my divorce party, but I donated our proceeds to
Room to
rebuild
Read, right?
Nepal. I've just been
Nepal, right.
really into Room to Read, Make a Wish,
That's
charitable
nice.
stuff. Yeah, it's been
That's
really nice.
nice. So anyway, so the styling,
so
getting
I
into
got
styling.
divorced, and then I founded a workshop for the English community called Find Your Element Workshop. So I would invite top experts from various fields to share their life story, especially their failures or how they overcame failures.
Okay.
And so I've had a lot of people, top architect, top economist, top model,
Right.
because most people will never get to hear those stories.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people assume that success comes from luck, money, education, or connection.
Well, there's some of that, but that isn't the only way it comes.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
it's if you actually get to hear everyone's stories, it's not. I think there's a resonating theme. One is that the successful people don't look at failure in the same way as other people do. And two, incidentally, most of my speakers have had a near-death experience. So they were cool enough. Maybe they felt sorry for me because I was a single mom again. So I'll take the pity, But they gathered to my, sister's studio I was renting to do these workshops where there's no hierarchy. So I don't know, the TEDx founder Patrick, for example, or Jesper Cole, for example, they'll come. They'll share their stories and their expertise, of course, but we always allocated half an hour for Q&A. So a student or a housewife or a grandpa or a child can ask, whoever
questions,
the
right.
speaker is, the real questions,
Right.
because now we're no longer watching their talk on screen. You actually can internalize the learning and ask those questions you've always wanted to. And I felt that my gift was to share my connections, which is something I've acquired from modeling and running a model agency. And most people don't really get to meet people outside of their world, like.
That's true. That's
yeah,
right.
and so I don't know if it's me being a woman or me being a CEO or me, doing what I've done. I've just been blessed to not only meet people, so-called famous people or successful people, I've gotten to know them deeply.
Okay.
So, even though you were the president of the American Club or ACCJ, or you have all these gyms and businesses, I'm not scared, to talk to you and ask you questions.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, listen, but so how did you get into the styling? How did you get?
So
Because
then
the
I
thing is,
lost
the
all
picture.
my money, not lost, but I invested all my money into this workshop because I wanted to do it so cheaply. So
That's the one that you
anyone
asked me. You told me that you wish you'd known me when you.
Really
I said,
wish you could have come
right.
and been
And did you?
speaker.
This place wasn't even. This didn't exist. This place didn't
No,
exist
not
at that
all.
time,
So
right?
2 years ago, a bit over 2 years ago, the reason I started to have this idea of becoming a style coach is because I was so frustrated seeing all these photos turned in by my speakers who are, attractive, amazing, successful people. But the pictures they gave me for my website for Find Your Element were not the best reflections of them.
Them, okay.
And I'm ran a model agency for almost 20 years. I know what I can do. I know how to make them do, be that in an instant.
Right.
But I didn't have the time, money, or budget.
Right.
So I was so frustrated. But
I want to ask you a question on
Yeah.
this. Just something. Eyebrows. You said this to me when we were having lunch.
Yeah,
So why is it? What is the
eyebrows
eyebrows?
are
So you look at.
everything.
So tell me, what, like what?
Eyebrows are so important to me. I actually say eyebrows are everything. I have a free style tip.
Well,
that
can I
have.
just should I have them tattooed in?
No. So what I do in part of my style coaching program, which is like a 1-week transformation, all over transformation, and if I had to choose 3 things out of the 20 things I actually have in the program, I would definitely include eyebrows. It's because men and women both.
Right.
For women, for example, I'm really attached to high arch. This is like, if you look at people like Angelina Jolie or
Right.
Penelope Cruz, or
Okay.
not just actresses or celebrities, but powerful, strong, feminine women, they
Okay.
have high arched eyebrows.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we can do this artificially too, but make it look natural. For example,
Right.
I actually have a bit of a missing hair here,
Okay.
it turns out. But I know where to go, who to go, and ask the right questions.
To
And
do what?
to make my eyebrows look high arched.
So there's no hair? Wait, you said
So
you
actually now my eyebrows are aligned. And I have fortunately my natural
With
eyebrows,
mascara?
no, it's
What's
like
it called?
it's like
a liner?
powder.
Powder?
Yeah, but it's natural.
And it makes it look like hair.
Yes.
Okay.
So no, just here, but the rest are real.
It washes off?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so when it does, then your eyelashes aren't equal.
This is I mean, but no one would be
Your
able to
eyebrows, I
tell.
mean your eyebrows.
Yeah, like if I washed my face and showed it to you now,
Right.
you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, but you would know some things could be done.
Can be
That
done.
makes
I got you.
sense,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand what
So
you're saying.
like you
Okay.
have eyebrows,
Right.
fortunately, and they're dark. That's good, fortunately.
Right.
But probably if you were my client, I take everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how nice your eyebrows are. I take everybody to this eyebrow salon,
Right.
and I have a specific therapist, a salon stylist,
Right.
who I'm chosen. But I ask her to do a specific thing for the men, women, different things. For a man, it's like there's not so many things you can do to make yourself look better.
Mm-hmm.
But so eyebrows are so important. For example, one of my clients, unfortunately, is really blonde. So his eyelashes and eyebrows are really light,
Okay, right.
which loses impact.
Okay.
Right? So the thicker and darker your eyebrows are, you have more presence. Look at Barack Obama.
I understand, okay.
Look at, I don't know, George Clooney. Look at people that, in that way.
So then-
and you'll notice that they have nice, thick eyebrows.
So I would need to make mine darker and thicker?
Not necessarily, because you want to use your eyebrows,
Mhm.
your original eyebrows, and
Yes.
you don't want in your position. I mean, generally speaking, you don't want to look like you're doing makeup at all.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's true.
all that person will do is to show you what can be done. For example, if you're going to be on TV or on stage, so you can draw a little bit
Just
more.
then, just then.
a little bit. Yeah.
I see what you're
For
saying.
example, my blonde client who looks
Right.
like a bit albino-ish because he was so fair-skinned
Mhm.
and fair. He has this mascara, dark blonde mascara.
Mhm.
Just puts this on, 1 second deal. He goes clubbing with that, appears on TV. Because all my clients are public speakers.
I see.
And it makes a hell of a difference.
Okay.
But my eyebrow thing goes farther. What you do with your eyebrows is so important. So, for example, when you're speaking to me or if you're speaking on camera,
Mm-hmm.
if a woman is like gossiping and complaining and worried
And
and
makes
is doing this the whole time,
Okay.
I leave a bad impression.
Wrinkling her forehead, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For a man, actually, when you do this, it's kind of cool. It's
'Cause he's
George
thinking.
Clooney. No,
He's
it's-
thinking,
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
pondering something.
Yeah. So just
Right.
to give you an example, people who own they're sexy, like George Clooney, like Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm,
like James Dean, they intentionally say things and do things to
and make the
create
wrinkle,
the
the forehead
wrinkles.
Gotcha.
Yes, as much as women, models,
Should not.
We intentionally don't gossip or complain because we don't want to give off a bad impression. We're constantly conscious of what you're seeing,
Mm-hmm.
what expressions you're seeing in us.
I understand.
So we use our hands, and everything we do is to show our femininity, elegance, classiness.
So women shouldn't use their face as much as they do their hands and their body. Is that what you're
We
saying?
use everything. I think
Okay.
in my program, which I call homme fatale and femme fatale,
Mm-hmm.
because it's more fun to make it playful,
Mhm.
right?
Well, people don't have to be so serious and
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
have to be
just-
so studied and
Yeah.
feel like they have to remember, okay, step number 1, 2, 3, nothing
yeah.
like that.
Or worse, like, oh, I don't have style, so I need to
Right.
hire a style coach. That's boring.
So someone finishes with you. The thing is, so if I were to,
I'm unleashing people sexy. Everyone's sexy.
but it's after
Everyone's
it's just the
attractive.
sexy.
No, I'm
Okay.
unleashing everyone's attractiveness in a way you never imagined that is possible for you. Because if you've never modeled, let's say, and even if you've modeled, if you're only doing a certain character that your agency or whatever made you,
Right.
you would only see that side of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm just
For
having
example-
fun, like using the base,
Right.
turning, showing you different skills that
Mm-hmm.
you can internalize,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because even the way you walk, or even the way you stay silent when you can be talking the whole time, that's so powerful, right? So you can intentionally use everything, voice, speech, gestures, right? So in the same way, I think that I really enjoy helping global change makers who have amazing messages for the world or our planet and contributing to our society. So my contribution is to, change their impact through their appearance, not just a, hairstyle and nice clothes and how to coordinate the clothes, but also
how
gestures and mannerisms, how to use it. For example, with some of my clients, I actually would coach them on how to speak more slowly.
To take their time and
everything
articulate
is sexy,
and just
subtle, suave, smooth, and savvy.
And that's the same. It isn't. There's some subtle differences between a male and a female and how they should do it. Okay.
Totally, because I'm a huge believer in masculine and feminine polarity.
Okay, so you don't believe. So how do you do? Okay, what if someone came to you and they happen to be trans, or they're they, or them, or they different?
Whichever they chose to be is how I would.
What if they say they want to be ambiguous? There's just
ambiguous. I can't work with.
Okay, because there's no way to do it, right?
No, there is a way to do it, but I'm not interested.
Okay.
So for me, I like being a woman. I like a man being a man. So I'm not working with a woman who's like, well, I'm not going to wear a skirt because
I want to be a man. I want to look more like mannish.
I don't
okay, so you don't do that. You just don't do it. Okay.
No, I think.
Right. And the same thing if a guy came to you and said, look, I want to look a little more feminine because I want to attract other guys.
It's not very interesting to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I have a lot of gay friends, I have nothing against it.
But there's no way you can style. You're not going to style them, right? I understand.
Well, there's only one of me, and I can't allocate my time for everyone.
I understand.
I'm only I'm selecting my main clients. I select from how much they're contributing to the world.
I see.
So that their messages will be more heard. And when you look attractive, when you're living out your potential, on your most outer layer too, then people naturally, their curiosity is evoked. It doesn't matter what they're saying or selling, right? You want to get to know, you want to watch their YouTube, you want to listen to them more. You open the pamphlet, if you see a beautiful girl or a beautiful guy, you're like, oh my God, who is he? So he's selling hangers. Oh, I want to buy hangers.
Right.
Oh, he's a nutritionist selling whole food product. Oh, I'm going to buy from him because I want to look like him. I want more of what you have. Whatever you have, you're happy, you're successful. Look, that's what I want more of. That's why we just tend to be attracted to people who are sort of exerting this positive energy, something we want more of. So
it was really interesting when I came here the first time when you wanted to show me the facility.
Yeah.
And pitching the facility and showing me, which is a fantastic facility. It's really fantastic, and you gave me the whole tour. Then you said you wanted to take Then you said you wanted to take some pictures.
Yeah.
And you started taking my camera. There's one thing I have to tell you I really noticed: the fact that I still think in the old camera style. But see, you were a professional model, so you were just going click, 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 and I was thinking, the first thing I'm thinking, she's taking it's digital. Why would I worry about that? And then I saw on your, I think it was on your page, you posted one, and you said by Aya, and you put down there photos by Aya, and that's the one I just said, well, that's good. And it's not me, and it's my camera, so I used that for my podcast, and it was something that we never, with no planning or anything with it, but you were telling me to sit this way, sit that way, and I was getting a kick out of it because it was fun. It was fun. So but a couple of those, I have to tell you, I looked like I didn't know. I mean, when I was standing beside the cabinet, I remember I was standing beside that. It didn't project me in the way that I wanted to be projected.
Not
so
yet,
I thought
because you
it just didn't work. It didn't work for me.
Not yet, because you hadn't watched the posing videos, which I would normally show my clients beforehand. So normally I would show you beforehand. You would practice, practice, practice. Then we would do the posing lesson. Then we would do the.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. So when you came to EPW to do this, and I wanted to share, just a little change could make a huge difference.
Well, I didn't know you were going to do that. I had no clue.
I wasn't planning on it either, but I mean, since you're a handsome, tall,
and that's when I had my little goatee going. I had my little goatee going on then. Yeah.
But because there's so many nice
places, that's right. That's right. That's really nice. I noticed when I looked through your post, I see so many. I know the place.
Yeah, now you know the place.
And I saw so many here, and it leads itself to that.
Yeah.
It's a good place to take photos and everything.
Sure.
And I didn't think about asking you to do it here, even this podcast,
Yeah.
because first of all, it's a podcast,
Yeah.
and we just happen to have it on video.
Yeah.
But this is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
so
like
just
that.
to, I mean, and I've done workshops on this, like how
Right.
to love
Style.
yourself in pictures.
Right.
And in this day and age, most people don't like how their voice sounds, and most people don't like how their pictures look. Well, of course, one, you wouldn't like how your picture looks because you have one shot, and usually not even your camera, not even your phone. And because you hate your picture every time, you never volunteer to get your picture taken. Well, guess what? You know, I have one message. It's like in this day and age, it's not even about you. If you get together with your high school friends, somebody's gonna want a photo of this memorable moment. It's not even about you. You're just part of the prop, right? So my suggestion, which is what I share in my workshop as well, is always volunteer to take the photo. Whenever you think somebody's going to take a group shot, be the nice guy, volunteer, give your camera to the farthest wait staff in the restaurant, somebody, you know, a stranger, just ask them to take a photo of your group shot with your camera, with your phone, right? And
This when you're telling me about taking control.
this is so
Okay, wait.
important.
So this when you're telling me at lunch, you're saying
Yeah.
you teach people to take control of the photos they
Yes.
take, and that's one way.
One
Give
way,
your
this is
phone.
so important.
Okay.
Step one,
Okay.
give your phone. First, volunteer. Let's say, hey, before our faces get red and we get drunk or lipsticks come off, let's take a photo, girls. You know, so give your phone to the farthest person from you. This is to try to be natural, so the other girls don't know your trick. The reason you do that is so your face doesn't look big or you don't get double chin. Because if you're closest to the camera, you tend to like accommodate and.
Oh, I
do
got you.
something
Oh, okay,
stupid,
okay, yes.
You know, like pull in, and you're gonna have double chin.
Right.
Your face is gonna look big.
And it looks strained and everything.
Your
Right.
wrinkles are everything's gonna show. So you want to be far. Also, the second tip is to vary your pose every time. So if you're in a group, ask the photographer, whoever you assigned, to take several photos of you, of the group, right? Because somebody's eyes might be shut. And nowadays, everybody will take several photos of you. They're kind, and it's you know not so much effort. And then when you do, always vary your poses. Use your chair. You know, hold a wine glass, hold a beer glass. Use your friend's shoulders. Tilt your neck. Tilt your put your finger on your face. I mean, it's different for boys and girls.
Okay.
You know, smile a bit, smile more. You know, look playful. Look to the side. You can look at the camera with your face sideways too. The worst pose ever is staring straight at the camera. This is a tendency for us when people are like, let's take a photo. They just align themselves to the camera, and then they look straight at the camera and they attempt a nice smile, which never works because you're just like, I hope to God this picture is gonna be okay.
And I don't blink and everything else you're thinking
It's
of.
gonna be like this, and then you're gonna hate your photo again, and then you just think you're the most unphotogenic person in the world, and you pray, you go on your life praying you'll never get photos taken, and you look fat. Well, of course you're gonna look fat. So the trick is, you know, go asymmetry. Use your shoulders, even just tilting your shoulder in like this, and for men, to up your masculinity, even if you have really narrow shoulders, it's really important to widen your shoulders. One, so you look confident and you look like you have a body. So you can do that just simply by using like the back of the sofa or the chair or a friend's.
Yeah, I remember you telling me all
yeah.
that, right.
Or you can, if you have your wife next to you,
Right.
you can put your arms around, but you're actually just using her, so you look wide and masculine. Everything
Now,
is
she's
about you.
gonna love hearing that.
Everything's about you. And for her, as a woman, you never want to put your arms to the sides like this,
Right.
because your upper arms are going to look like your thighs. When there's no space here, right? It's
more
hunched.
obvious, right?
Yeah. So just never look at the camera. Never have your body and face straight
to the camera. Always
tilt. Use
tilt,
your
come at an
shoulders. Everything asymmetry is like one keyword. Go asymmetry.
Okay.
You know, so the models always have this.
That's
you
right.
know,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
skinny tall girls, and they
Right.
do this for a reason.
Because if they were like this, they would. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
wouldn't
even this, like face tilt. And to make it natural, all you have to do for an amateur non-model, all you have to do is when you're getting a photo taken, you can use the chair, you can use the back of the chair, you can do the tilt, you can do the boxer, you can do something subtly.
Oh, they have names? Okay.
There's names. I have 7 names.
Okay.
One is the arranger.
Okay,
so
arranger.
You can use
You
a
arrange it.
bracelet.
Okay.
In your case, you can play with your watch.
Okay.
If you have one.
Right.
You can play with a scarf if you have one. You can play.
With a scarf, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, if you have
Okay.
jewelry, of course you can use your, whatever. You can just bear in mind the arranger. That's
Okay,
like
arranger. Okay, so you're doing something, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're
Right,
doing
right.
something, guess what happens? Your pictures will become natural looking.
I understand.
Instead of
When you're
like-
doing something instead of just,
Yes.
okay.
So if you're lucky if you have one nice smile, but you're always going to look the same, which is why you'll never be hired as a model, because as models you have to.
But
sort
not
of-
just for model, because you're saying this is also to help
For
to
anyone.
increase your business, whatever it
Of
is. When people look at it, they're
course.
going to be more interested.
Of
So it doesn't have to
course.
be for modeling.
Of
It could be
course.
for anything, like you said when we were eating lunch. You said if a guy's selling toothpicks,
Yeah. Doesn't
if
matter
he
what
takes
you-
good pictures,
Yes.
people are going to ask,
Yes.
what do you do? And you say,
Yes.
well, I sell toothpicks. Then they say, I was just thinking about, I want to
Yeah.
buy some toothpicks now.
Exactly, from you.
Right,
because
exactly.
it's- Yeah, and just to divert, I think it's so important that people ask the wrong questions. So people would like wait 6 months to get, I don't know, Brad Pitt's hairstylist to do their haircut. So they get so excited, like finally I got Brad Pitt's hairstylist. They go there and say, please make my hair like Brad Pitt. And then come out looking like, like the hair's like Brad Pitt. But dude, you don't look good in Brad Pitt's hairstyle because you're no Brad Pitt.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
the question, first,
That
find
was the
the
wrong
right
question, right.
stylist. Second, you ask that good stylist to tell you what he thinks will look good on you. So I have my stylist that I picked.
But how do you know if they're good stylists? Because everyone has
I
different
already
face shapes.
I already have everyone.
Oh,
chosen.
so you do that? Okay, I'm saying that's
Yeah.
what you do as a
Yeah,
style professional.
yeah.
Okay, so
So for me, I don't know what to do. I'm not a hairstylist. I don't know what to do with your eyebrows, your hair. I don't know any of this.
But you know people that
I
know.
exactly.
they know what to do.
Yeah.
And when they finish with me, I'll go okie
You're like,
dokie.
whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right. And
I see.
so at least now you have a choice that every time you have public performance, or you're
Right.
going out clubbing, picking
That's
up
right.
girls, you're gonna
Yeah.
like do your little mascara
That's
thing
right.
or do a little thing, just to do. Even just trimming might help, right?
Mhm.
You know.
Right. If you have
something
hairs
I
all over
never
the place,
thought
which you don't
about.
think
Yeah.
about, right?
And yeah, if you have like really white, light
Mhm.
hair, light colored
Eyebrows,
eyebrows or
right.
eyelashes,
Mhm.
it doesn't. It just makes you less impactful,
Mhm.
and there's nothing. It's just nothing for you to put on a little bit of darker colored styling gel.
They won't
for
be so
example.
noticeable. Yeah,
Not
people
at
wouldn't
all.
know.
No one even
Right.
know what you did.
Right.
Only you just became much more. Your presence just
Mhm.
uplifted
Right.
by tenfold.
Mhm.
So people don't know this. So I've already curated a program where I just take you to the right person to ask the right question and videotape the whole thing. So you can
Oh, you're
actually
doing that.
recreate. You don't have to ever go back there again.
That's nice.
When you know what.
Once you know
have
what to
to
do, right?
Yeah.
I had a tailor like that. He used to
Yeah.
sit up and he used to tell me, he said, Lance, there's certain colors you shouldn't wear.
Yeah.
He said, because of your skin tone.
Yeah.
And I really liked what he had to say to me.
Yeah.
He's passed now, but he was such a good friend, and he was my
Yeah.
tailor for years
Yeah.
here. And he really, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
He told
And
me
my
what ways to
thing
wear and
is-
everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's good to know your colors and things
Mhm,
like that.
mhm.
But my thing is more. It's like you can wear all the right clothes, and we talked about this before.
We should
But
have.
if you're sitting wrongly, if you're standing wrongly, if you're walking wrongly, if you're
If you're not pulling
yeah,
your
I
chest
even have
for
a
guys,
dining etiquette in my program.
a lot of people need to use everything you're talking about. People need.
Everybody-
Everyone needs it. Everyone
everybody
needs it. That's true.
And everything
That's
in
so
my
true.
program is everything I need
That's so
that I
neat.
want.
Uh-huh.
Because
I understand.
it's
Well,
easy.
I saw some of the write-ups of people that wrote to you. I
like
read through that,
testimonials?
and they
Yes.
were just phenomenal. I mean, they were good. And of
Yeah.
course, it was interesting. I looked at the people and I thought, wow, that's really
Yeah.
neat.
It's easy for
Really,
me
yeah.
to make anyone look beautiful
Uh-huh.
in a photo shoot. I know the best photographers, studio
Mhm,
shoot,
mhm.
hairstylists. It's easy
But
for
you
me
do
to just
individuals. You don't like necessarily. Well, I mean, of course, you could do families, but you do individuals.
I do
in the
individuals,
family.
I do
Right,
couples,
so-
I do any.
yeah.
But the point is, it's very easy for me to create this experience for you in one day. I
Mhm.
have a 1-day transformation experience, but I'm focused on my 1-week transformation, which is dining etiquette, workout, everything, eyebrows, hair, wardrobe check, fast fashion shopping, high-end shopping, posing lesson, because I want you to internalize.
Go through that again. Go through that again.
I have eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
I have hairstyle.
You really do believe in eyebrows. It's okay.
Totally.
Eyebrows, hairstyle.
Eyebrows, hair. It's not just haircut, but it's hairstyling.
Okay.
Knowing how to, I mean, you
How do
have
I
short hair,
Yeah.
but it's not just the haircut that suits you, that you're comfortable to try out. It's about learning how to do business, date, casual, and party style without having to go home and change or go to a hairstylist.
Okay.
So when you go to this hairstylist in my program, I take videos of everything again. So the hairstylist will show you how to do this for business. You know, party
with whatever
here,
length your hair
put
is,
some
but I
gel,
got you.
Put a wax, mess it up, do this for casual, do this for date, do this for business, do this for party. That way you can have a 7 a.m. breakfast power meeting, go to a 10 a.m. meeting, have a date with a girlfriend over lunch, go to a party later. Like, you don't have to go home. Maybe all you need is a tiny comb and a gel, and you can pretend like you went to a hair salon every moment. And I think to show up in each place, it's in Japanese we call it TPO, time, place, and occasion. To be mindful to that person you're seeing and the occasion. So what I find, especially here in Japan, is people just show up to the dinner or the party, and nobody's dressing for the event. I mean, I've been to so many like embassy parties or fashion parties.
But it's even, I would think it's going to be even more of a challenge after this COVID. Because people aren't going to be dressing up at all. You know, me and my assistant, my business partner, she always says that what's going to happen is people are going to be from the waist up. That's all, because they do so much online you know, meetings and stuff. So their pants are going to be their pajamas or either just sweatpants. And they're not going to be so concerned with clothing anymore. And we was talking about that. I mean, we said a little bit about that. And that just makes it that much better for the people that actually know what to do. They're going to stand out even that much more.
Of course.
It's going to stand out that much more. It's not for everyone, but still, they're going to really stand out. It's just like wearing a good suit versus just wearing a suit.
Yeah. So what we did here, when you came and visited me last time, that little posing lesson.
Right.
I don't know if you recall, but we used different props.
Yeah, no, you had me stand by the furniture, right?
And I had you do different
and I sat by the
movements.
and you said sit there, sit this way, and pull in my stomach because I had my belly.
Your stomach there's absolutely no
need to have that hanging out.
Look relaxed with your, and it's actually bad for your back later. All sorts of ailments and illnesses come from you slacking off there. And for men, it's easy to even out your weight on both of your
Well, see, you got mad at your son because he was here. Because you asked me if he could, and he was here, and he was like, "You said I taught you better than that."
I know. And
he said, "How dare you?" And he was sitting up there, and he was laughing so much. I thought that was good.
And I think it's just you just want to be respectful to the person you're meeting and the ambiance you're in. And I'm so grateful to be here. The least I can do is look nicely and sit right. And I do this for myself.
Right, that's the most important. We talked about that. It's not so much the other people, because if you can't make the person who you see in that mirror satisfied, it doesn't matter what other people think.
So for my whole program, of course you're going to make tons of money. Of course you're going to have thousands of girls wanting to be your friend. Of course you're going to get your supermodel, wives and whatnot. That's like obvious if you look better and feel better about yourself. But for me, the most important thing is when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, oh, I can't use.
You can say, well, no, this is not. This podcast is not for kids, so you actually can. It's no, that's right.
He's hot. I want to do him. Like you can say that to yourself, and when you can look in the mirror
and feel good about who you see,
no matter what age you start this, it's just a week process, right? It's like, it's just life changing because you never. Most people don't wake up and look at themselves
and feel good about themselves
and think, "Damn, I want to fuck her." They don't. But that's my goal. Like, I want the girls to look at themselves and be like, "Wow, I'm hot." So, in fact, it's part of. I have many things about 20 things in my program. One of them is a whole aesthetic salon package. Hands, waxing, everything, facial. But this is unnecessary for the photo shoot. But I do this because I need people to feel that they deserve to be pampered. And
Oh, so you want them to
luxury,
feel what it feels like to have
to
that
be
done.
a princess
I see.
and pampered.
I see.
And I actually recommend both men and women now to get Brazilian waxed, even though I'm not going to judge.
Brazilian wax.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. What, for men?
Yeah, both. Because I think it's really,
Okay.
one, it's
Now we're
really
getting into areas we
sexy.
didn't. Okay.
Okay, but this is like, I feel that
Sorry.
it's like wearing like a sort of a, especially for women, it's like wearing an expensive lingerie and only your partner knows that secret.
Oh, I see.
And it
I
just
see.
makes us feel kind of mysterious and sexy. And not in, and it just gives you this sort of, I have, you know, a secret you don't know.
Oh, I see. I see. I
And
see.
it just makes, and for men too, actually.
But see, I think this, we talk about it. I mean, the style coach and stuff, a lot of the women, I don't know what the situation is here for the younger people. I can only go on what I see my sons when I talk with them every now and then. And it's very seldom about girls. That's very seldom we talk about because it's mostly business. They're really business focused in what they're doing. Yeah, they're really focused that way. Even the two that have girls, they're focused that way. And it just seems the now generation, and particularly here in Japan, the men don't seem to me to be as aggressive. I'm sure they have the same desires and stuff, but they don't seem to be as aggressive as I remember being as a kid in America. Towards women, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this place is not an overtly complimentary place. I heard this from also my business partner. She said that now in the States they have complimentary rape. That's how touchy people have gotten. You can compliment someone so much that it's considered rape. Complimentary rape. You say he's complimentary raping me. But I'm saying that's just how touchy things are getting in society now, where you have to be careful what you say, how you look at someone, how you touch them, what you're doing. So I think as a style coach, what you're doing is you're telling people to go out there and they're going to become the center of attraction. People are going to start being attracted, but they have to know how to handle themselves in that situation.
But I also teach people to own their sexy. So one, it's like most often the men or women I work with never imagined to be loved or lusted over as that sexy modelly person that they became.
Right, okay, so how would they handle? So how are they supposed to handle themselves?
In the week that I'm taking them shopping or posing, I'm coaching them other things the whole time.
Oh, I see, okay. So and that's, they have to go through your course to find that out. I understand.
So the things I share with men or for female models, we're not really listening to you when we're conversing. We're pretending to listen to you. You know, if you're a guy I want to attract,
right, okay. So
we can use our, you know, we can change how we want to be depending on what we're trying to get from the guy.
I understand.
So when I'm on a date with some guy I really like, and I'm not really listening to you, I'm going to show you all my beautiful top features on my face. If my lips or my assets, I'm going to like make sure you're focused on my lips. And just to give you a very exaggerated example, have you watched the movie Flashdance?
Long time ago.
With Jennifer Beals.
Long time ago,
and you know
right?
how, for example, she eats that shrimp like.
I don't remember, but go on, okay.
You know, and it's just a shrimp cocktail.
Oh, I see. I've seen that so many times. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So there's ways we can eat, drink, talk, not talk. There's so many things we can do to allure a man, and vice versa. So if you're on a date with a girl that you want to attract, I would up all my masculine assets, which for men are hands, shoulders, chest, also facial features. It depends. It might be lips, it might be nose, it might be
the eyes. They have. Yeah.
So this is something I would point out to you, and then you would use that.
I see.
In a way you want to, I mean, I don't want to use the word manipulation, but it is.
But what about if you're giving sales pitches or you're giving a talk?
Yeah, you're giving a pitch.
Let's see, because the one thing I have to say, when I was over both TAC and the American Chamber, there was a photographer that came in and he got some, I looked like, for me, I felt so good. One picture I have, I looked like I was Malcolm X. Because the way he caught me in the expression I had on my face, and I really was serious at the time, but he took some pictures and the lighting was just right.
But do you see that you could you have to, one, understand why that was good and
I
be
see.
able to recreate it.
I see.
And one way to do that is to have somebody continuously shoot you, right? When
Right.
you're doing a talk.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes,
you already
yes.
have the good shot.
Right,
so
right.
it's
I do have
easy.
so many good shots. Yes, I do.
But you don't want that day to come someday by luck.
No, but you
can
can own it. I
Yeah.
see what you. Oh, okay, I got
So
you.
all you need to do is take your
And let someone give it to
camera,
someone and
give
say,
it to your
"Hit me."
son, pretend
Yeah.
to do a talk, do these things that you've done.
Yeah. No, who takes the best pictures of me is the girl that's. I mean, the woman who's with me, and she just takes fantastic pictures of me all the time.
But I actually would argue that anyone could take good photos.
Oh yeah, I
of
understand.
you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
All this is a very important thing for anyone to remember. Take multiple photos.
That's right. Not just one or
And
two.
for most people that are not models, especially, a pose to pose is the best pose. So
Say it again.
A
pose to pose.
So let's say we're doing a photo shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not a model, it's like everything's so drastic. It's like, like it's like the movements are so.
If you're not a
If
model.
you're not a model,
Right.
you think you just move to the every noise of the shutter. It's like here, I'm gonna do.
And that's
this,
not how you're supposed to. You're supposed to
I'm
be
gonna do
fluid.
that.
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
you're
fluid.
supposed to be fluid. That every move you.
It doesn't
make,
matter. They catch you. You catch you
Yeah.
in motion.
Yeah. So all you have to remember is not to make drastic poses. And don't forget, just because you did this with your hand, don't forget your right hand and your legs. So you have to remember everything. And there's just a few. You can Google this online. But I have specific posing videos for men. I have specific posing videos for women. So just to finish off, what you can do is use other things to sort of divert your focus on you. So you can arrange, you can touch your face, for example, you can touch your mustache, you can touch your glasses.
You said mustache. You mean?
If you have.
You mean
I'm just
your
saying.
goatee? Your goatee.
Yeah, you can do different.
You're right. Oh, your mustache, right?
Yeah, there's different things you can do. And for women, we can touch our accessories.
Oh,
we
for a
could
shot,
touch
I see.
We could touch your hands. We did the leaner, we did the arranger. You can do the pretty please face, like pretty please.
Yeah.
Can I,
That's
can you
4,
buy me
okay.
that,
Yeah.
that bag. You can do the smile, the super smile.
Right.
You can also do.
But someone told me this about smiling.
Yeah.
Someone said this, that beautiful women usually don't smile.
No, that's not true.
Okay,
I
I just
don't know
want
where
to
that
hear.
came
But I
from.
heard that from someone, and
That
I
is
don't
so
know because.
horrible. Hello. Oh, do you
But they do.
heartburn?
They do all the time.
All the
And so
time.
there's no rule saying that
Smile
if
is
you look
the
good.
cheapest, free jewelry. The only thing
that's right, I
anyone
understand.
can do.
It's smile, and
It's
that's easy.
smile.
Okay.
So to be honest, like part of my program, we have teeth cleaning and whitening.
Okay.
Because I'm a huge believer in smiling.
Okay.
Smiling is the easiest way to leave a good impression. Any but ugly person can smile and look friendly and nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just like, why would you? And people actually don't smile because, one,
Your teeth
people-
may not be nice.
Yeah,
Right.
I had an employee for a long time who would cover her mouth. It's a cultural thing too when she laughs because her teeth were
Which is not
messed
nice,
up
yes.
and yellow.
Yeah.
And to a point where I'm bothered. Like,
I understand. I understand.
And she's a beautiful person,
But
but
she-
it's like, why?
Did you ever get them cleaned?
Who?
Your employee.
My employee, yeah, but it's just that,
She
she's
just didn't-
married, yeah,
okay,
it's just,
right. Something
she's
concerned.
not that that motivated.
That's something.
in
And
that.
something I've thought about, even at my age, I had braces at one time, and I've been thinking about doing it again.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking not to as well, and just clean them and make them
Well,
whiter.
You're whitening, but your teeth are white, Lance.
Are they?
So it looks really white.
Okay.
So, and fortunately, all your top teeth are aligned, so I wouldn't really
Interesting.
worry about it.
The bottom ones.
The bottom ones you can fix, but it's
But
not
sure, for what?
for you.
I know, I thought about it, but I
Everything's for
thought
you.
about that too. I know, I thought about it.
Yeah, but I'm not. For you. I've seen different teeth.
I know
and
what you
it's
mean.
just-
So this isn't that
yeah.
bad, just saying.
And so going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like if something stands out. So for me, like for example, the employee was always covering her mouth
Right.
and pulling attention to her
Right,
weakness
right.
to a point where I'm
You become
Yeah.
overly conscious
so
of it.
Just like some, overweight people might wear really baggy clothes to a point where
Or
they look
just
even
talk about it
bigger.
all the time.
Yeah.
They constantly talk about what they have to lose. Don't talk about it, do it.
Oh, mine is worse.
I just
don't
really-
forget the ones that talk about how 3 years ago they were 20 pounds lighter, and I'm just
Just
like,
stop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't look.
yeah,
And you want to go on to a different topic because you
Yeah.
don't want to hear this
Yeah.
moaning and groaning about something you can actually do something about.
yeah.
It's all up to you.
And that's the eyebrow thing for me. So I tell my
So when you see
female
people with
clients,
ragged eyebrows, it just drives you nuts?
it not only drives me, it doesn't drive me nuts. I just feel that it's unfortunate that they're
Right.
choosing to do that frowny face because it
But
gives
then
off
the
a
frowny
really
face
bad
has nothing to do with the
impression.
eyebrows.
No, they're going like this. What's called.
Oh,
like
that's what you're talking about. Oh, I
yeah,
see, I see, I
can't
see.
do it 'cause
Okay,
I don't
okay.
do it, but it's like. So I tell my female clients, men don't really gossip and complain. I mean, not to be sexist. Maybe yours,
Well, no,
I
but
know-
I know,
I
so I
know.
know people that do, but go on.
Well, yeah, some people are just negative. But I think for a lot of women, they complain about their husbands or partners or,
Okay.
being fat, just everything.
Well, men do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and most my friends don't because it's a conscious decision
Right.
for me to surround
Right,
myself with
with people that are
initiative and
positive, right? They have good
yeah,
energy,
because
right?
it's like I make a conscious decision not to watch the news because it's like
It's- yeah,
negative.
it's
and
not positive
just,
stuff,
you're gonna
right.
Start to cultivate fear, nourish fear, and what's the point? So I tell them, just don't gossip or complain, and if you must, do it with a smile.
Tell me the
My
words that you
message-
told me that was it 4 words or 5 words?
Oh, the 4 words I avoid is
You
should,
avoid.
shouldn't, never, and always. And I learned this from Byron Katie, and one of my speakers for Find Your Element is a Byron Katie facilitator. But the word should, shouldn't, always, and never just causes all sorts of suffering. So when we choose to categorize, I don't know, our husband never supports me, or my wife always complains, or I should lose weight, or he shouldn't smoke. I mean, it's just like, well, that's the reality. We're avoiding reality and resisting reality, and anytime we're fighting how things are, we're depriving ourselves to enjoy the moment and how things is.
They really, yeah, how things, yeah,
Right?
right, I see, yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I don't know, American Club should let
Or let's see,
members in,
or
let's
if I
say.
got upset, yeah, I could have made that the whole day horrible because of that one incident.
Yeah.
When I just said,
Well, I wouldn't let you. I mean,
Right.
if you're not.
no,
that
I wasn't
person-
that type of, it didn't bother me. I mean, I told you it was my fault.
Yeah, yeah.
That I
There's
didn't
no
check.
fault.
I didn't know that they didn't let non-members
Yeah.
in the room.
Well, now
So I
you,
thought,
you have a new knowledge.
so now I know
You'll
knowledge
never
about
do
that.
again.
And you see how she was acting. She was just. It's not her. She didn't make the rule.
No,
So I
know,
never shoot the
I know,
messenger.
But you know
Yeah.
how some people get.
Oh, they get.
really
Oh,
angry
I'm
and
telling you, and they think
frustrated
that,
will try
and
to
they take it
ruin
out
my
on.
day.
They take it out on the weakest link.
facility, yeah.
On the weakest link,
Yeah.
and that's something I've always had an issue with.
Yeah. And that's
Don't
why
do
we
that.
love each other
Yeah,
because
right,
we don't
right.
believe in this hierarchy. And though we're CEOs and have
Yeah.
accomplished a lot, we don't play those cards.
You don't need to know. As a matter of fact, I think you have more of a responsibility not to.
Exactly. to
Because
choose
people
not.
really are paying attention to what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
And people like to say that the higher a person gets, the more deviant they become, the more selfish they become. And I tell them no. Money, just like alcohol,
Yeah.
the abundance of money, just like the abundance of too much alcohol, does not change a person. It amplifies them. If they are bad people, when they drink alcohol, they're going to become worse. If they're bad people and they have a lot of money,
Yeah.
they're going to become worse because they can do more bad with it. If they're good people and they drink alcohol, they'll probably laugh a lot
Yeah.
or maybe go to sleep.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So those two elements there, I've never believed that when you have a lot of money, you become crooked and stingy. No, that person was that way before, but he didn't have the opportunity, or she didn't have the opportunity to express it as much.
Yeah.
Because most people, they're not going to notice it.
Yeah.
You can only do so much, but the more they have, the more you find out what they're like. If they're givers, they're bigger givers when they have
yeah.
more to give.
That's
If
why.
they're takers,
Yeah.
they'll find a
Yeah.
way to use that energy to take more.
Yeah.
They'll take advantage, they'll take this,
Yeah.
they'll take what isn't theirs with money. I had a friend who was very wealthy. She loved to steal jewelry. She'd go to the nice jewelry store. She'd go to the nice, listen, look, she's not here anymore.
Yeah.
But she used to go to nice jewelry stores. We were at the Okuda Hotel one time, and they had a nice jewelry store there. And she'd ask for pearls like this, and she'd take one and put it in her. And I'd see, and I saw that, and I said, wait. And we
You
get
saw that.
she had more than enough money to pay for it. And I said, when we got back, I said, why did you do that? She said, it just gives me a
high.
three. But to take something that doesn't belong to. Anyway, we've gone off to another tangent. Aya, as we end this,
Yeah.
which I'm going to do now, I want
let
you to,
me
well, how
just-
would you, okay,
just
go ahead. Oh, you got
include,
some
no,
more.
with
Because
the
I was going to
whole
ask you what you want
money
to end.
thing
Okay,
and
good.
No, I was thinking that I think for me, I would define that as the abundant mindset and the scarcity mindset.
That is so true.
I think you have, I mean, I love hanging out with people like you, and it's nice to have, whether it's wealth or fame or success or whatever you want to call it, in the hands of people who have abundant mindset. And we were talking about this, but I think just because somebody got rich doesn't make somebody poor, or somebody got famous doesn't make somebody. And I've just been in this world of modeling where it's like, you know, starting at 8 when my girlfriend who wanted to model in my agency got rejected by my agency, and from around then I just started to experience, you know, jealousy, envy, malice, rivalry, and I'm just like, I'm like, what? You know, and it's very difficult for me to work with people with 4 horsemen, I call it. But I think when you
with 4 horsemen,
4 horsemen, rivalry, malice, jealousy, envy.
Okay.
Most people have this.
Well,
When
all of us have it to some extent. It's how you control it and work with it.
Really, I feel
Okay, so
pretty
some people don't have it?
I
Okay.
feel I'm happy when you're happy,
Okay, I
no
see.
matter what
Okay.
made you happy.
But you said you didn't. You weren't always that way, you said.
No, I don't think I had the reverse. I'm not jealous.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
you had the
I'm-
reverse. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Okay.
But I've been and when you don't have it, it pisses off people more.
Did actually have it,
Yes,
right?
so
It amplifies theirs.
Yeah, they get, especially women, get upset that I don't get jealous or I'm not envious or whatever. Because I think, and I'm sure you agree, our competition is only ourselves. We're not competing with anyone. I mean, there's always going to be prettier girls or better bodied girls or smarter people in the world.
That's true.
But my competition, and when you're looking behind in a race and trying to compare where you're at, you'll lose. So for me, I think it's just like how can I realize my best potential? So everything I do, including my personal growth and studying for myself, is to become the best version of me. Since I'm put in this universe, I want to be my best. And so I need to, just because our eyes are this way, we can see out, right? And we're bothered by out, because everyone spends all day trying to find something to be offended by. Did you know that?
They do?
They do, we do too. It's funny. It's like, oh, she should wear a mask. Oh, he shouldn't litter.
Oh, I see. Isn't it? Oh, I didn't.
Funny. It's true. But
We
it's
spend
just a
all day looking for
subconscious
something that's
thing.
going to offend us.
Yeah, all day we spend time.
But you know what? There's one thing I am conscious. I know, and I've had this as a little kid. I always look for, I guess, not to be offended by, but things that need to be corrected. Right. I was like a little policeman when I was a little kid. I was always a policeman saying, don't go this way. That's why I always laugh and take a bit of joy in watching the guys with the flashlight and the uniforms here. Yeah. To the parking attendants. And now he's got all the power. Yeah. And a guy comes up in his big, beautiful car. And he says, no. Yeah. No, you can't go this way because I am over this road. And I just love it. But I know the feeling of being the one to make sure everyone follows the rule. Yeah. And there's people like that. And this society is set up that I just love the society for that.
Yeah, and it's so great.
It works. I love the society for it.
Yeah, but I think it's really important to be able to laugh at ourselves and to laugh at the situation because it's really up to us whether we want to be offended
or not.
And be
That's
miserable
true.
and anxious and worried and live in fear, or why don't we just, live every day like it's our last day?
That's sometimes I think that. Sometimes when I'm in a situation where I feel bad, I think, what if I were to die tomorrow? Would I want this? Would I want to end? Would I want it to end like this? No. And I think so. I try to avoid that more. But there was a time when I just loved the conflict. I mean, I would even try to create. I would even try to create it, and I feel sad for the people that I had around me while I was doing that, and some of them, most of them are still around me. But it's still sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. But still, you learn. This is nothing wrong with realizing that you didn't do things right. The thing that would be wrong is continually doing things that aren't right.
Exactly.
And nothing wrong with having done it wrong, but learning, no matter when it is, to learn and then try to correct it.
To err is to be human.
That's right.
But to do it again, it would make you a stupid fool.
That's right.
But
that's right.
We had to have done
that.
That.
And that's how you learn.
That's how I learn.
That's how you learn. Because what are you going to compare it to?
And this is what we're deeply appreciative for, the friends who stuck around.
That's right. That's right. That stayed there. And particularly that person in the mirror, as we said before, who still is willing to give that person a chance. Yeah. And looks at him and says, you're not as bad as I thought you were. I'm going to give you another chance, and I truly do love you.
Yeah, and I think
Then you can do that.
Yeah, and I think it's good to do the personal growth, and if you have those skills, you can Google that and learn from good friends like you, I'm sure. But I think it's really impactful to do to look differently than than what you imagine possible using professional coaches like me or anyone else. It's the quickest way to feel good about yourself.
That's right.
And
that's
it's
right.
fun, it's funny.
If you can do it, right.
And if you're embarrassed, go to a different country, try out a different bar, check different audience response, and then come home to make your wife laugh at you. Or
What I'm going to do is, at the end of this, even though this is a podcast, what I'm going to do to show people that you walk your talk, how you first met, I'm going to include some clippets at the end of this of me spotting you and doing your back handspring, and then the one time I think we recorded it when you were doing the back flip off the mini tramp.
Yes.
Didn't I record that?
I think we did not the.
We did the trampoline. You did the trampoline.
We did the other. Yeah,
that's what the mini tramp. The mini that was on the mini tramp, and I lifted you over and almost broke my back. Okay, I know. I saw the one you had your staff do that and set it up. So I'll put that at the end. So anyone that's listening to this now that wants to see it would have to go to YouTube. Same thing, Lance E. Lee podcast, and see Aya, and you'll see her at the end of this. After you see the other credits, and I'll put it at the end there.
Oh, if anyone's doing Instagram,
we'll do that.
I'm just Aya Jean Style.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you want to end this? What do you want to add?
So it's just my Instagram's Aya Jean Style Coach, Facebook too, but also my website is ayajean.com, so people can find me.
Fantastic.
And they can do a one-day transformation. If they're not a global change maker, I can't help them for my main program. But I also do workshops, and I also do consultation for 2 hours and things like that. So if you, for example, ask me to do your consultation for 2 hours, you could use me fully for posing lesson or
just posing.
Virtual impact or something, right? You want to up your first impression.
Now, do you want to say what your fees are now for that, or do you want them to come and call you?
They can look it up on my website. But my 2-hour consultation is 50,000 yen for 2 hours.
And that 2 hours, they sit down like we're sitting now, and you just.
We can do anything. You can ask me anything.
Will they be doing it here in this facility?
Anywhere. So I can do it here. We can do it where you choose, where you feel more
wherever they choose. We could be at the American Club, wherever.
It really depends. First I would need to find out what you want to consult me about, whether it's your relationship, divorce.
Wait, you mean wait. Oh, so I thought it's not just style. I thought it was styling. So you but your 2-hour counseling, you're just
consultation. I can do it. I cater make everything for the client. So let's say you.
But you don't do children. You don't do teenagers.
I do teenagers.
Okay, so what if a teenager? What if there's a
girl?
I was gonna say. Okay, I was gonna say if some, let's say some girl came in and she's gender confused.
Yeah, totally. But you know what? I always have answers. So just to give you.
Would you speak to her parents?
This is something. Let's say a gender confused girl came to me,
or a guy.
But the gender confused girl or the guy is my client, so I don't care what her parents think. I would be.
What do you mean is your client? How is she your client?
If it depends who my client is, right? You understand? So if my client is the gender confused girl or
but how old would she have to be?
Any age. My youngest is like 20.
Okay, you mean they'd have to be an adult though?
Not really. Why?
No, I'm asking. No, I don't know what you do.
I'm totally open.
Okay.
I'm a mother of a 21-year-old.
Okay.
I've had hundreds of models in my, running my agency. So I'm totally comfortable to talk to a young child or a grandpa.
Okay.
And it really depends. So I've done lovemaking confidence workshops this summer. I'm doing the inner and outer beauty, workshops. I'm pretty open to share anything. So
if they just want to talk to you, then you'd say, okay, I see. Yeah. So that's 50,000 if they want to talk to you for 2 hours.
I'm not here to just listen to somebody bitch and complain.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So it's not. This is not just the style.
Not at all.
Styling.
No, but if you want to use the 2-hour
for style tips, then that's what you can do. Okay.
I've done that for women who wanted me to give her posing lessons. So basically what she did is hire me for 2 hours to have a one-on-one workshop for her.
Okay.
The kind of workshops I have for the public.
Okay.
Which is totally useful, isn't it? Because then I would point out your top 3 features, your top 3 moves, your things you're good at, and then I would point out some things you should never do, and I would point out some weaknesses, so I wouldn't flaunt that. Because if you don't know the efficacy of a medicine, it doesn't work for you.
Gotcha.
So you can't, let's say you're very active on social media and you posted a picture of you in a red coat or something, I don't know, and you had 500 likes, right? But you don't know why you had 500. This actually happened to my client. He's like, oh my God, now I know why, because I was wearing that hat with that scarf like this. That's why I had so many likes last year with that photo. So he never knew, like, why did this get more likes than this one didn't? Yeah.
I see.
So just to give you an example, all my clients, when they posted the photos from the finale photo shoots, we take like, at least 4 categories of photos, right? Date, casual, party, and business. When they posted their photos, they had more likes than them at the weddings or their, grandson's, birth or whatever. Any picture they've ever posted on social media, like the photos of them, having gone through my program, that just got the most likes. You know why, though, I think? It's not just that they look like Calvin Klein models. It's because they put themselves out there to do all those different poses at whatever age, whatever. That's what I think. We're like, wow, you did that sexy thing and the cute thing and the fun thing and I think that's what we love seeing. We love seeing people putting themselves out there and having fun with their lives and their body and their, like if you did it, it'd be fun to do the rock star jump picture and the wet sexy look and the, stylish 007 look.
And the back handspring look.
And the back handspring maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, standing on my motorcycle, going like this and going in the motorcycle moving with the wheelie instead of. Yeah.
So what we do is we have the clients, and I already have a bunch of pictures. I would make suggestions, but you would also start to get all these images of posters or something off the internet.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That I think
you
really
get
interesting.
A James Dean poster, like I want to do this poster, and I'll do it. I can totally recreate any picture for you. So it's fun. It's like, oh my God, I never imagined I could look like a Vogue cover model. Well, yeah, I can make you. You're not going to have the same clothes, but it's just the ambiance and the lighting. So, and I have my whole top team organized. All you have to is, you'll be like, every 10 minutes you're changing. It's over, and 1 week later you have everything, and it's like, oh. And the interesting thing is sometimes you're like, I don't think this is me. I don't think I look good. But then you post it, and then it's like people are like, oh my God, and then suddenly, oh, that's not bad. I didn't know. And it doesn't matter anymore whether you like it or not. When everyone likes it, you start to like it too. And you're like, oh, maybe purple looks good on me. Like you don't like red, you told me. And I think red will look great on you. You returned my cashmere knit to me, and I was like,
I did?
Yeah.
You gave me, you tried to give me and I said, yeah.
Because you have this, you have this judgment you made. I don't know what.
It could have been from the blood, the fight.
I know. 100%. I know that you're gonna look. I know you're gonna look good in red, and it's a Armani cashmere knit, sweater. But you don't. You have no cerebral plasticity to try out the red that the star coach, is telling you you'll look good in. But what I would love and what I want you to do is wear that and walk around
and see how many people jump on me, especially during Christmas time.
And you're going to be like, damn, I think I'll keep this, Aya. Thank you.
Aya, with that, I'm going to thank you for this. This has been a wonderful podcast.
So
and look, and I'm sure I'll be having you on again someday.
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
really, really good.
Thank you
And everyone knows where to contact you.
Yes.
A lot of information.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
Good. Hi.